There is a moment when the seed you planted years ago bursts through the soil as if it had been waiting for the exact breath of wind, the exact kiss of sunlight, the exact alignment of heaven and earth. You call it sudden. The truth is, it was always coming. For all these years, it was never failure. It was timing. Introduction. Close your eyes for a moment, dear one, and listen. Not with your ears, but with the quiet space inside your chest where the world can no longer reach you. There, in that stillness, you will feel it. The slow and patient hum of something that has been on its way to you for longer than you can remember. You thought it was gone. You thought you missed your chance. You thought the universe had forgotten. But the universe does not forget. The universe is a master composer, and you are the music being written. We have been taught to measure our desires in days, in weeks, in years, as though the infinite should obey our clocks. We have been told that if it does not come quickly, it will never come at all. And yet, look at nature. The river does not rush to the sea before its time. The tree does not bear fruit in winter just because you demand it. The moon will not rise because you plead with it. It will rise because it is time. You see, what you have been calling delay has not been delay at all. It has been alignment. The alignment of your readiness, the alignment of your belief, the alignment of unseen forces arranging themselves so that when the moment comes, it will feel inevitable. This is the law of divine timing, the truth that manifestation is not a matter of if, but when. And the when is never random. It is the precise moment when all threads of reality weave together into the tapestry you have been waiting to see. There is a rhythm to this universe, a cadence, a heartbeat. And if you can feel it, if you can trust it, you will stop asking, when, and start preparing for now. That is when the magic happens. When you realize that the moment you have been waiting for is not being kept from you, but is being prepared for you. In this journey together, I will take you by the hand and walk you through the hidden corridors of time, not the time you know from your watches and calendars, but the deep time that lives in the bones of the earth and the breath of the stars. We will speak of the invisible seasons of manifestation, the reasons your prayers seemed unanswered, the strange mercy of delays, and the precise way to step into the river when the current is ready to carry you. We will tell stories, stories of those who waited, stories of those who received, stories of those who thought they had lost everything only to discover they had been moved into perfect position. And each story will not just be something you hear, it will be something you feel because you will find yourself in them. And together we will practice the art of readiness, the sacred exercises that align you with your own moment. Because timing is not luck, timing is not chance, timing is a law. And once you understand this law, you will no longer beg the universe to deliver. You will meet it at the appointed hour, and it will feel like destiny. So, take a breath. Release the impatience you've been holding in your jaw, in your chest, in your hands. You are not late. You are not behind, and nothing has been lost. You have simply been ripening in the unseen. Your moment is coming, and it will arrive right on time. Chapter 1. The Seed Beneath the Soil. Beneath the earth, in the cool and sacred darkness, a seed waits. It does not question the sun it has not yet seen. It does not curse the silence. It simply holds its blueprint in stillness, knowing that one day the world will call for it. You are that seed. The truth no one told you is that the most important work happens where no eye can witness it. We think of growth as something visible, something that can be measured by inches, by milestones, by public applause. But the deepest transformations happen far below the surface, hidden, unseen, protected from the elements, whispered into being by the quiet hands of time. There is a reason your vision has not yet sprouted into the world you can touch. You are in the rooting stage. And roots do not rush. Roots seek depth before they seek height. If you rise too soon, you are vulnerable to every wind, every storm. But if you deepen first, you can grow without fear of being uprooted. I once knew a woman named Alina who carried a dream in her chest so bright it kept her awake at night. She had the blueprint for an art school for underprivileged children, a place where creativity would not just be taught, but worshipped. For years she fought for it, forced it, tried to open doors that would not budge. Investors shook their heads. The right building slipped away from her 3 times. She thought the universe was cruel, withholding her life's purpose. Then one day, years after she had almost let the dream go, she walked down a quiet street she'd never taken before. There it was, an old abandoned library with tall arched windows, a garden in the back, and a history so rich it could have been part of a novel. The city was selling it for a fraction of its worth, eager for someone to restore it. And just like that, every contact she needed appeared. An old friend who was now an architect, a donor she'd met in passing at a charity event, a group of volunteers from the neighborhood. Alina thought this was sudden, but it wasn't. The truth was, the library wasn't available before. The architect friend wasn't ready to take on her project. The donor wasn't in her life yet. The community wasn't looking for what she could offer. The seed had been planted years before, but it had been growing beneath the soil in ways she could not see. We are impatient gardeners of our own lives. We dig into the soil to check on the seed, wondering why it hasn't sprouted, and in doing so, we disrupt its quiet work. But there is a wisdom in the waiting, because waiting is not empty. Waiting is gathering strength. The law of divine timing begins here, with the understanding that your manifestation is alive, even if it is invisible. Your role in this stage is not to force the seed to grow, it is to nourish the soil. Nourishment is faith. Nourishment is joy in the present moment. Nourishment is preparing the ground for what will one day break through. Think of the times in your life when something arrived just when you had stopped chasing it, when you had finally exhaled and surrendered. This is not coincidence. The moment you stop digging at the seed, you give it space to rise. The soil of your life becomes undisturbed enough for growth to occur. And yet, surrender does not mean neglect. You do not forget the seed. You water it. You tend to it, but you do not stand over it with a stopwatch. You live your life knowing it is becoming what it was always meant to become. There is a deep trust in this stage, one that will stretch you, because in a world obsessed with results, with proof, with visible evidence, it is radical to say, I believe in what I cannot see. But this is the language the universe speaks. I remember a moment in my own life when I learned this truth. I had written a book years before, a book that I believed could change lives. I sent it to publishers, agents, anyone who might see its worth. No one answered. The silence was heavy. I put it away in a drawer, almost ashamed of it. Then, nearly a decade later, someone I'd never met found a copy I had given to a friend. They were an editor for a publishing house I had once prayed would notice me. The book was released exactly 10 years after I had written it, and it reached more people than I could have imagined back then. I used to think I had failed at timing. Now I see. I had been in the rooting stage. Your seed knows the season in which it will rise. If you were to look at the timeline of your life from above, you would see the perfect weaving of events that lead to the appointed moment. The delay is never denial. It is preparation. If you can trust the soil, if you can tend to it with love instead of desperation, you will experience something miraculous. The day when the first green sprout breaks the surface. And when that happens, you will not be able to say, "I made this happen." You will whisper, "It was always coming." Sacred practice, the soil of trust. Tonight, before you sleep, close your eyes and imagine your desire as a seed planted deep in rich, dark earth. See it resting there, not idle, but alive with unseen activity. Whisper to it, "I trust you. I know you are growing, even when I cannot see you." Then, instead of asking, "When will you come?" ask yourself, "How can I nourish the soil today?" It might be by taking a small inspired action. It might be by resting. It might be by choosing joy in something unrelated. But each act of nourishment sends the roots deeper, making the sprout stronger when it appears. Chapter 2. The River That Refuses to Rush. You have seen rivers before, some raging and wild, clawing at their banks as though the sea might vanish if they do not hurry. And you have seen others, slow, deliberate, unhurried, their surface so calm you could mistake them for mirrors. Which river do you think reaches the ocean more surely? The truth is, all rivers arrive. The only difference is the way they carry themselves there. The frantic river wears itself out on the rocks. The patient one shapes them. Life is the same. We have been taught that swiftness is success, that the one who hurries wins. Yet nature whispers something else. The most powerful forces move without haste. The sun never rushes to rise, yet it always breaks the horizon on time. Seeds never tear themselves open in panic, yet the forest comes. The law of divine power is not the law of speed. It is the law of inevitability. And inevitability is not born from desperation. It is born from stillness. The myth of urgency. From the day we are born, urgency wraps itself around us like a second skin. Time is running out, they say. Opportunities don't wait, they warn. But if opportunities are truly yours by right of vibration, they will wait. Or rather, they will circle back again and again until you are ready to receive them. Divine power is never hurried because it knows no loss. The universe is not in short supply of anything, not of love, not of resources, not of miracles. It is only the mind that believes in scarcity that rushes. And every time you rush, you are telling life, "I do not trust you." The river that refuses to rush trusts gravity. It knows that there is a pull beneath its surface, carrying it where it needs to go. So too must you trust the unseen currents of your own life. Your destiny is not in danger. Your miracle is not slipping away. Your moment is not late. It is ripening. How the river chooses its path. A river does not argue with the land. If a mountain stands in its way, it does not rage and thrash and try to climb over it. It curves, it bends, it allows, and yet it still arrives at the sea. We have been trained to see obstacles as proof that something has gone wrong. But obstacles are the shape of the land. They are part of the path. When you stop rushing, you stop fighting the shape of your life. You begin to see that what seemed like a detour was the direct road in disguise. The law of divine power asks you to move like that, to follow the curves, to surrender to the bends, to allow the terrain to guide you instead of resisting it. The seduction of fast. Speed feels powerful. When things are moving quickly, we feel alive, important, in control. But speed is not the same as momentum. Momentum is quiet. Momentum builds even when nothing looks like it's moving. It is the invisible current beneath your boat that carries you forward even as you sit still, trusting. When you live in divine power, you will be tempted to go back to rushing, to force what is not ready. And every time you do, you will notice the cost, exhaustion, doubt, and the hollow victory of things gained before their time. The deep current. There is a current beneath your surface, a spiritual gravity that knows exactly where to take you. The only way to feel it is to stop thrashing, close your eyes, breathe, listen for the subtle pull in your chest. That is your river. That is the direction in which everything is already flowing for you. Your task is not to make the river run faster, it is to trust it enough to float. The quiet power of waiting. In the ancient world, generals did not always strike when they could. They struck when the moment bent toward them. A lion does not chase every movement in the grass. It waits for the one that feels inevitable. The river does not rush to meet the sea. It allows the sea to come to it. This is not passivity. This is the mastery of timing. When you wait from a place of trust, your energy gathers instead of scatters. You are no longer dripping your power into every maybe. You hold it until the yes feels like it's already happened. And when you move from that place, everything unfolds with the ease of gravity, becoming the river. You become the river by remembering these truths. There is no competition in destiny. What is yours cannot be taken, and what is taken was never yours. The curve is the path. Detours are not delays, they are shaping you for what you asked for. Silence is not stagnation. Still water runs deep, and unseen currents are the most powerful. To embody the law of divine power is to stop measuring time in seconds and start measuring it in seasons. A sacred practice, the flow of no rush. Tonight, before you sleep, try this. Lie still and feel your breath. Imagine you are lying on the surface of a vast, slow-moving river. The sky above you is endless. The water beneath you carries you without effort. See in your mind the bends ahead, the ones you cannot control. Whisper to yourself, I do not rush. I cannot be late. My river knows the way. Say it until the tension leaves your shoulders. Say it until you believe it. And then let yourself drift. The river that refuses to rush always arrives, not because it forces its way forward, but because it could not do otherwise. And neither can you. Your life is already pouring itself toward the sea of what you asked for. The current is here. The pull is here. All that is left is to let yourself be carried. Chapter 3. The River That Knows Its Way, Trusting the Unseen Current of Life. There is a river within you, not of water, not of stone, but of movement, a silent stream that flows without a map, without a visible shore, without the urgency of knowing what lies ahead. This river is not driven by your will, yet it carries you. You did not dig its course, yet you are already within its flow. It is the unseen current of life, the divine intelligence that moves beneath the surface of your choices, guiding, redirecting, and reshaping your journey in ways you cannot always explain. And though you may sometimes feel lost, as if drifting without direction, the river always knows its way. We live in a world that worships control. We are taught to grab the oars, to row harder, to fight the current if it does not take us where our mind demands to go. But the river is older than your mind. It was flowing long before you arrived, and it will continue long after you have left the body you inhabit. To surrender to it is not weakness. It is remembering that you are not the sole architect of your destiny. There is a deeper map, a hidden cartography drawn by the same hand that paints sunsets, that spins galaxies, that whispers to the roots of trees when to push upward toward light. Trusting the unseen current means giving up the fantasy that you must see the entire path before you move. A river never waits for a map. It moves because it was born to move. It trusts gravity, trusts the slope of the land, trusts the deep pull that calls it toward its eventual merging with the ocean. In the same way, you are called forward, not by frantic pushing, but by the quiet pull of your own becoming. The next bend will be revealed only when you reach it, and the further you go, the more you realize that the river was never lost, only you were uncertain. There will be moments when the current feels gentle, as if you are floating through a meadow of reflection and rest. And there will be moments when it roars, hurling you between cliffs, tossing you into rapids that demand your complete presence. Both are part of the journey. The gentle flow teaches you peace. The rapid waters teach you strength. Do not curse one or cling to the other. Each serves the same destination. When you panic in the rapids, you tense, you fight, you swallow water. But when you trust, you find that the same current that looks like chaos is actually carrying you through the fastest passage to the next calm. The unseen current is not blind, it has its own intelligence. Consider how a river bends around obstacles, not by brute force, but by yielding. It does not stop at a boulder and declare defeat. It flows around it, reshaping the land in quiet persistence until even stone bows to its will. This is the way life asks you to move, not always with resistance, but with the patience to flow around what cannot be moved and the quiet confidence that you are still on course. There is a dangerous temptation to believe that stillness is stagnation, but the river teaches that even when the surface appears still, the depths are always moving. Life works the same way. You may feel paused, suspended in uncertainty, but beneath the surface, something is always shifting, aligning opportunities, weaving connections, softening the edges of your own heart so you can receive what is coming. The still water is not the absence of movement. It is preparation for the next flow. Many people fear trusting the unseen current because it demands the surrender of the ego's need for control. But control is an illusion, an exhausting game of keeping the world in a fixed shape that matches our limited vision. Trust is different. Trust says, I will move with life, not against it. I will believe that the bends, the delays, and the detours are part of the design, even when I cannot yet see the reason. Sometimes the current will take you away from where you thought you needed to go. You may lose something, someone, or some version of yourself you believed you could not live without. In that loss, you may rage against the river, convinced it has betrayed you, but with time, you will see that it was carrying you toward something you would never have found if you had stayed where you were. What looks like loss from one bend often reveals itself as deliverance around the next. Trusting the unseen current does not mean you never steer. The river still invites you to navigate, to avoid unnecessary harm, to align your boat with its flow, to respond with awareness to the waters you are in. But navigation is different from control. Navigation works with the current. Control fights against it. The first moves with grace. The second exhausts the soul. You are not here to dam the river, you are here to travel it. And the beauty is, you are not a passive passenger, you are a living part of the current itself. Your desires, your intentions, your choices, they ripple into the flow, shaping how and when the river carries you. This is the paradox. The current knows its way, but it also listens to your song. When you trust it, you begin to see that it is not taking you somewhere random. It is responding to the deeper truth of who you are. To live this way is to release the anxiety of needing to know the entire route. It is to wake each morning with a quiet question: where is the river asking me to go today? Sometimes the answer is an action. Sometimes it is rest. Sometimes it is letting go of a struggle. Sometimes it is picking up an oar and moving with deliberate energy. The river teaches you rhythm, the wisdom to know when to push and when to yield. And as you learn this, something shifts inside you. You stop fearing the unknown because you realize the unknown is simply the next bend waiting for you. You stop clinging to the shore because you see that the shore was never the destination. You stop doubting the direction because you begin to sense the subtle pull that has been guiding you all along. The river that knows its way is not outside you. It is the life force within you. To trust it is to trust yourself, not the self that clings to control, but the deeper self that already knows you are being carried exactly where you need to be. You are both the traveler and the current, both the one who moves and the movement itself. And when you live from that knowing, you no longer beg life to hurry, nor do you curse it for delaying. You simply move, bend, flow, and allow, knowing the river always finds the ocean. Chapter 4. The Silent Construction of Miracles. How the universe builds behind closed doors. There is a moment in every true act of creation when nothing seems to happen. You have prayed, you have imagined, you have released your desire into the vastness of the unseen, and then quiet. No sign, no whisper, no movement. The world on the surface appears unchanged, but it is in this sacred lull, this still stretch of apparent inactivity, that the architecture of miracles begins to take shape. The universe, like a master builder, works behind closed doors, beyond the reach of your impatient eyes. When you plant a seed, you do not dig it up the next morning to check if roots have formed. You trust the hidden work of the soil. Yet when it comes to your dreams, how quickly the human mind forgets the law of gestation. We want signs, we crave proof, but the proof is in the process, and the process is often veiled. What you cannot see is not the absence of activity, it is the concealment of divine precision. Miracles do not announce themselves with fanfare in their making. They assemble in the quiet. They gather their materials from realms you do not yet understand. The conversation you need, the person you must meet, the perfect timing. These threads are weaving themselves in spaces your eyes cannot enter. The hands of God work in silence, because silence is the only place big enough to hold infinity. Think of an artist painting behind a locked studio door. Days pass. You see nothing. You may even forget the artist is at work. Then, one day, the door opens and the canvas takes your breath away. This is how the universe creates. It locks the studio, turns the key, and paints your miracle without your interference. Your role is to trust that the brush is moving even when you cannot hear the strokes. The problem is not that creation takes time. It is that our minds mistake silence for abandonment. We think, nothing is happening, I must push harder. But this is like shouting directions to a builder who is already following the blueprint. The noise does not help, it delays. Faith is the decision to step back and let the construction unfold in its own rhythm. Inside the stillness, things are shifting. The person who will mention your name in the right room is about to meet someone who will inspire them to take a trip where they will cross paths with another who will eventually become your key connection. The money you need is being moved from one account to another through a series of decisions you are not yet aware of. A contract is being drafted, a policy is changing, a heart is softening. The miracle is not only being built, it is being built with more beauty than you dared to imagine. And here is the deeper secret. Miracles are never random. They are engineered to the shape of your belief. The clearer and calmer your inner vision, the cleaner the blueprint for the universe to follow. When you dwell in doubt, you scribble over the design. When you hold your faith steady, you hand the builder a flawless plan. This is why the silence between asking and receiving is not empty. It is sacred. It is the chamber where the unseen takes form. Consider the moon. Every night it changes shape to your eyes, but in truth it is whole and constant. Your perspective changes, not the moon. Your miracle is like that. It already exists in its completeness. You are simply moving through the phases of seeing it. And until you do, the universe will quietly adjust every star in your sky to make the moment of unveiling perfect. The mind wants speed, the soul wants alignment. These two can feel at odds until you understand that the slowness of manifestation is not delay, it is choreography. Imagine a great dance in which hundreds of partners must meet at the exact right beat. If one moves too soon, the beauty collapses. So the universe keeps certain doors closed, not to deny you, but to ensure that when they open, the music swells, and you step into your miracle as though it had been waiting for you all along. Behind closed doors, the universe does not just prepare your blessing, it prepares you. Sometimes the very reason for the quiet is that you are being refined into someone who can hold what you have asked for. If a miracle arrives before you are ready, it can slip through your fingers. The silent construction is as much about building your capacity as it is about building the thing itself. This is why gratitude before receiving is such a magnetic force. Gratitude says, "I trust the work you are doing in the hidden places." It turns your energy into cooperation. It keeps you from knocking on locked doors in panic and instead allows you to stand in the hallway knowing that when the latch clicks, it will be the right time. When doubt rises, and it will, remember the seed, remember the artist, remember the moon. Your miracle is under construction, and the workers do not stop because you cannot see them. They follow the rhythm of divine intelligence, a rhythm older than time and faster than any clock. And then, one morning, you will wake to a reality subtly, perfectly rearranged. A phone call will come, an email will arrive, a chance encounter will shift your path forever. The studio door will open, and the painting will be there, more vivid than your wildest imagining. In that moment, you will realize that the stillness was never still. It was the hum of creation, too fine for human ears, but steady as the heartbeat of God. So, the next time you find yourself in the quiet after asking, do not mistake it for emptiness. Picture the blueprints spread across the table of the universe. Picture the master builder moving pieces into place with care you cannot yet comprehend. Your miracle is not late, it is being made beautiful. And when it arrives, you will see that the silence was not a pause, it was the proof. Chapter 5. The Alignment Hour. When your readiness meets your reality, there is an hour in your life that cannot be predicted on any clock, cannot be penciled into any calendar, and will not be announced by trumpets in the sky. It comes quietly, like the soft light before dawn, and yet when it arrives, it is the most monumental turning point of your existence. It is the alignment hour, that sacred meeting point between your inner readiness and the outer reality you have longed for. Most people live as though time is a tyrant, measuring their worth and progress by days, weeks, and years. But the universe does not honor deadlines born from desperation. It honors readiness born from transformation. You may think you are ready because you have been wanting for so long. You may think you are ready because you have prayed, begged, or worked tirelessly. But readiness is not measured in effort. It is measured in frequency. It is not about how long you have waited, but how deeply you have become the version of yourself who can carry the reality you ask for without breaking under its weight. Readiness is not just wanting the thing. It is being the person who can keep it, nurture it, and not lose themselves in it. Many have asked for love before they were ready to be seen. Many have asked for wealth before they were ready to steward it. Many have asked for freedom before they were ready to live without the chains of their own mind. And so, life waits, not to punish, but to protect. The delay is not denial, it is divine preservation. You see, the alignment hour is not random. It is engineered in the quiet corridors of the unseen. While you pace the floors of your impatience, the universe is adjusting the angles, shifting the currents, and weaving the threads. The circumstances that must align are not just outside of you, they are within you. Your healing, your belief, your courage, your trust, all must find their rightful place. Imagine the universe as a grand conductor, raising the baton only when every instrument, both yours and the world's, is tuned to the same pitch. If the flutes of your faith are sharp while the drums of your discipline are dull, the music will falter. If the violins of your vision are clear, but the horns of your habits are muffled, the melody will not yet be whole. And so, you may feel nothing is happening. But in truth, everything is happening, both within and beyond you. This is why forcing a dream is dangerous. Forcing is the language of fear. Alignment is the language of power. When you force, you pull on the threads before they are knotted, tearing the tapestry before it can hold its beauty. But when you align, you let the current bring it to you, knowing it will arrive precisely when you are no longer reaching for it because you have already become it. Readiness, in truth, is a spiritual posture. It is the place where wanting turns into knowing, and knowing turns into being. You no longer feel like you are chasing. Instead, you are a magnet. You no longer question when because you have surrendered how. This surrender is not laziness. It is the sharpest form of preparation. You continue to act, to move, to build, but you do so without the choking hand of impatience around your throat. You are both the architect and the inhabitant of the life that is coming. And then, one day, you wake up, and without warning, the hour arrives. Perhaps the phone rings with the opportunity you once cried over. Perhaps the person walks into your life as though they were always meant to. Perhaps the money clears, the door opens, the miracle lands. And you realize it did not arrive early or late. It arrived now, and now was always the appointed time. You will also see something else. Looking back, you will notice how many times you almost settled for less because you mistook longing for readiness. You will see the places where you would have sabotaged the gift had it arrived earlier. You will see the beauty of the delay, that what once felt like the cruel withholding of fate was the gentle hand of timing keeping you from your own undoing. This is the heart of the alignment hour. Life does not meet you when you are impatient. It meets you when you are prepared. The test is not whether you can want, it's whether you can wait and trust. And waiting in trust is not passive. It is an active shaping of your inner world to hold the dream without fear, without loss of self, without compromise. In this hour, there is no scrambling, no begging, no proving. There is only receiving, because you have become the version of yourself who naturally belongs to what is now yours. You do not hold it with shaking hands, afraid it might slip away. You hold it as though it has always been there, because in your soul it has. Do not fear the in-between. The in-between is not a void. It is the sacred kiln in which the clay of your becoming hardens into form. Without the heat of waiting, the vessel would crumble under the weight of what it is meant to hold. Without the seasons of invisible growth, the tree would split under the first heavy fruit. The alignment hour comes for everyone, but it does not come at the same time because it cannot. It comes when the inside and the outside match, when your identity and your destiny meet in the same breath. Until then, do not try to skip the steps, for the steps are the very path that makes you unshakable when the dream arrives. So, walk forward. Do the work, both seen and unseen. Sharpen your faith, strengthen your habits, soften your heart. Know that you are not late, you are not forgotten, and you are not behind. You are on time, because the alignment hour will find you when there is nothing left in you that doubts it will. And when it does, you will know. Not because the clock told you, not because someone predicted it, but because you will feel the deep, bone-deep recognition that whispers, "This is it. I am ready. It is mine." And from that day forward, you will never again question the timing of your life. Chapter 6. The Patience of the Stars. Learning the rhythm of cosmic timing. There is a wisdom that hangs in the night sky. It is older than the oceans, older than the mountains, older than the first breath that ever stirred the dust of this earth into life. It belongs to the stars. They do not rush. They do not demand. They do not question the night for how long it will last, nor beg the dawn to come sooner than it is meant to. They shine when it is their hour to shine, and they hide when it is their hour to hide. Their patience is not passive. It is a trust, deep and unwavering, in the cosmic rhythm that governs all things. And yet, here we are, restless creatures beneath their quiet watch. We want the seed to sprout the moment we bury it. We want the door to open the instant we knock. We want love, success, healing, and answers. Not tomorrow, but today, or even yesterday if it were possible. But the stars whisper a truth most of us resist. The timing of the universe is perfect. It is not early. It is not late. It arrives when you are aligned, not when you are anxious. The night sky is a mirror for your own becoming. When you gaze up and see constellations frozen in their ancient patterns, you are looking at light that has traveled for thousands, sometimes millions of years just to reach you. In that moment, you are not merely witnessing the stars, you are witnessing patience in motion. You cannot rush starlight, and you cannot rush the unfolding of your own destiny. Imagine a grand symphony. Every note has its exact place, its perfect pause, its rise, its fall. If the violins rushed ahead, if the drums tried to anticipate the conductor's signal, the music would collapse into chaos. Your life is that symphony, and the unseen hand of the divine is the conductor. The pauses in your life are not empty. They are the sacred rests between notes. They are where your soul inhales, where the next part of your song is prepared. The truth is, much of what you desire is not denied to you. It is simply timed for the moment when your heart, your mind, and your reality can hold it without breaking. The stars know this. They know that to appear before their appointed hour would be to disrupt the tapestry of the night. They know that even the sun, magnificent as it is, must wait for the horizon's gentle permission before it rises. So too must you. There is a difference between waiting and being in waiting. Waiting is passive. It is a restless tapping of the foot. Being in waiting is active alignment. It is preparing, refining, becoming, so that when the door opens, you can walk through it without stumbling. Think of the farmer who plants in spring. He does not dig up the soil every morning to see if the seed has grown. He waters, he tends, he trusts. He knows the soil has its own intelligence. He knows the sun and the rain will arrive in the rhythm they always have. His task is not to force the seed to grow. It is to ensure that when it does grow, it finds a world ready to sustain it. This is the patience of the stars. It is not idle. It is deeply engaged in trust. And here is where most of us falter. We confuse timing with worth. We think, if it hasn't happened yet, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm not deserving. But the universe does not measure your worth by your speed. It measures your readiness by your alignment. A rosebud does not question its value because it has not yet bloomed. It is no less beautiful in its closed form. It is simply waiting for the sun's kiss, for the temperature to rise, for the perfect moment when its petals can open without harm. This is the secret rhythm of cosmic timing. Everything that is meant for you is already in motion. It may be hidden, like the moon behind clouds. It may be far, like starlight still on its way, but it is moving toward you with a precision you cannot yet see. If you could stand far enough away from your life and look at its entirety the way you look at the night sky, you would see that every delay, every detour, every pause was a star in its exact place, forming a constellation you could not yet recognize. Patience, then, is not just endurance. It is perception. It is the ability to trust that what is not visible is still unfolding. It is to hold your vibration steady while the universe finishes weaving the unseen threads. And here's the paradox. The moment you truly surrender to divine timing, not with gritted teeth, but with an open heart, you accelerate the arrival of what you desire, because resistance creates friction, and friction slows the current. Patience removes the friction. It says, I am ready whenever the moment arrives, and until then, I will live fully where I am. In your own life, the stars are teaching you this. You do not have to see the whole path to take the next step. You do not have to know when the dawn will break to rest in the night. You do not have to force the river to flow. It knows its way to the sea. There is a season for planting, a season for growing, and a season for reaping. None can be skipped without losing the integrity of the harvest. So tonight, step outside, look up, find a star, any star, and remember, the light you see left its home long before you ever knew to wish upon it. And yet, here it is, perfect in its arrival. Not too early, not too late. Just when you looked up, your desires are the same. They are already on their way, their light already traveling toward you. You may not yet see the glow on your horizon, but it is there. and one day, without warning, it will appear, just as it was always meant to. Until then, shine where you are. Trust the rhythm. Learn the patience of the stars. Chapter 7. The Delay That Saved You. How Not Yet Can Be a Form of Divine Mercy. There is a sacred pause that often feels like a punishment, a silence so loud it drowns out your hopes, a waiting so long it bruises your spirit. You ask, why not now? Why this delay? Yet hidden beneath that silence is a mercy so profound it cradles your soul in ways you could never have imagined. The delay, the not yet, is not denial, but divine protection. It is the universe's way of saying, hold on, not because you are unworthy, but because you are too precious to be rushed. In the darkest hours of waiting, when your faith flickers like a candle in the wind, remember this: the greatest gifts are rarely delivered on demand. Like a master gardener who prunes the branches before the bloom, the universe trims your life with gentle, unseen hands. Sometimes what feels like a loss or a setback is actually the careful removal of what would have stunted your growth, limited your joy, or harmed your journey. When you beg for something before you are ready, it can become a burden rather than a blessing. The delay is a sacred interval, an invisible workshop where your character is forged, your fears are melted, and your capacity to receive is expanded. It is the quiet before the symphony, the breath before the leap. To resist it is to fight the very hands that shape your destiny. Imagine a potter at the wheel. The clay spins rapidly, but the potter never rushes. If the clay is taken off the wheel too soon, it crumbles, it loses its form, it cannot hold water. The delay in drying and firing is what makes the vessel strong and lasting. Your life, your dreams, your miracles, they are that clay. The waiting is not punishment, it is preparation. It is a sacred pause that allows the universe to finish shaping what you have asked for. Many times, delay arrives disguised as disappointment. You may feel forgotten, overlooked, or unimportant, but the truth is the opposite. The delay is a sign that the universe sees your worth so clearly that it will not settle for less than the perfect timing. It waits until the moment when your soul is ready to embrace the fullness of the gift without fear or resistance. There is a beautiful story from a village high in the mountains where a young woman longed to leave for the city and chase her dreams. Each time she was ready to depart, an unexpected storm forced her to stay home. Months passed, and frustration grew like a heavy fog around her heart. One day, an elder told her, "The storm is not a barrier, it is a guardian. It saves you from what you cannot yet see." Years later, she learned that the city had suffered a great flood at the time of her planned journey. The delay had saved her life, and more importantly, allowed her to grow in ways she could not have while rushing toward a dream prematurely. The delay is not only mercy outwardly, it is mercy inwardly. It gives you the space to heal old wounds, to mend broken beliefs, and to find a deeper clarity about what you truly want. Sometimes what you ask for in haste is a shadow of a greater desire waiting to be revealed. The universe holds you in the sacred "not yet" to invite you into that deeper wisdom. The pain of waiting is real. There is no sugarcoating the ache of "not now," but pain is the language of transformation. Like coal becoming diamond, the pressure and the time are essential. If you rush the process, you risk losing the brilliance that can only come from endurance. The divine delay is also an act of trust from the universe to you. It trusts that you will not give up on yourself. It trusts that you will learn patience not as defeat, but as a skill, a sacred art of holding space for miracles. It trusts that your faith will deepen, your heart will expand, and your vision will clarify. In that trust, your soul becomes a vessel ready for the magnitude of what is coming. It is tempting to fill the waiting with action, to push, to strive, to chase. But often, the most powerful thing you can do in the delay is to be still, to let go of the need to control, to surrender into the flow of life's timing. Stillness in waiting is not passivity. It is active alignment with the sacred rhythm. It is the space where your spirit breathes freely and your essence is renewed. When the delay finally lifts, it does so with the grace of a sunrise after a long night. The gift arrives not as a trickle, but as a flood. It feels like the answer to every prayer you whispered in the dark, the fulfillment of every hope you dared to hold, and you realize then the waiting was a part of the gift. The delay saved you from receiving too soon. The delay saved you from breaking under the weight of your own dreams. So, when "not yet" echoes in your heart, hear it not as rejection, but as mercy. It is a divine embrace, holding you gently until the perfect moment to let you go. It is a sacred protection, guarding the precious unfolding of your life. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are being prepared. Your dreams are not delayed. They are destined. And in this truth, find your peace. Sacred practice. In moments when you feel the weight of waiting, close your eyes and breathe deeply. Imagine a gentle hand holding yours. Steady, patient, unwavering. Repeat silently, "I trust the timing that saves me. I welcome the mercy in delay." Let this mantra cradle your heart and dissolve the restlessness. Chapter 8. The Invisible Bridge. Crossing from desire to manifestation without forcing. There is a bridge between the world you see and the world you long for. A bridge that cannot be built with sweat or willpower, nor crossed by frantic pushing or grasping. This is the invisible bridge woven from the threads of trust, surrender, and divine timing. It is the pathway from desire into reality, but it is neither visible nor tangible in the usual sense. It is felt, known, and crossed only when you stop forcing and begin allowing. We live in an age that worships action. We have been taught to hustle, grind, and claw our way toward success. Yet the deepest, most profound transformations come not from effort, but from the sacred pause, the breath held between wanting and receiving. The invisible bridge invites you into this pause, asking you to relinquish the desperate need to make things happen, and instead to become the person who naturally steps into manifestation. Imagine standing on one riverbank, looking across to the other side where your dreams reside. The water between is wide, and no visible path exists. Your mind screams to build a raft, swim fiercely, or leap blindly. But the invisible bridge asks a different question. What if the bridge is already there? What if it exists beneath the surface, waiting for you to quiet your mind and trust the crossing? This bridge is built by stillness, not by doing, but by being. It is crafted in the invisible realm of your consciousness, in the deep recesses of faith and alignment. When you force, you shake the very foundations of this delicate structure. You create waves of doubt, waves of fear, and the crossing becomes turbulent, even impossible. But when you surrender, when you quiet your frantic mind, you feel the bridge solidify beneath your feet, steady and sure. The journey from desire to manifestation is not a race. It is a dance. one that asks you to move forward with intention and then pause with patience. It asks you to release control and accept the mystery of unfolding. It asks you to trust that your deepest longing is not separate from your present moment, but is connected by this invisible path, strong enough to carry you if you will only step lightly. Consider the story of the lotus flower, rooted in the mud, unseen beneath the murky water. It does not force its way to the surface. It rises with grace, guided by an innate knowing of the light above. The lotus trusts the timing of the sun and the rhythm of the water. If it struggled or rushed, it would break its stem or bloom before it was ready. Instead, it becomes a symbol of surrender and timing, of manifestation without force. In the same way, your desires must be allowed to rise through the waters of your inner world, nurtured by faith and nourished by patience. The invisible bridge appears when you no longer grasp at outcomes, but instead open your hands in readiness to receive. You stop battling the current and begin moving with it. Forcing the universe is like trying to pull the tide backward. It only creates resistance and exhaustion. But crossing the invisible bridge requires a different energy. It requires trust that the universe is your partner, not your adversary. It asks you to listen deeply to the whispers of your intuition, to notice the subtle signs and synchronicities that mark your path. It invites you to walk gently, with an open heart and a clear mind. The crossing is not always easy. The invisible nature of the bridge can breed doubt. You may feel uncertain, tempted to abandon the crossing and swim or build a raft after all. But the bridge is strongest beneath your feet when you walk with faith, step by step, without rushing. There is a story of a traveler who reached the edge of a vast chasm. He searched for a way across but saw none. In desperation, he stepped forward and found himself standing on solid ground. The bridge was invisible to the eye but real beneath his feet. With each step, the bridge shimmered and stretched to meet him. His crossing was safe, but only because he trusted the unseen path and did not turn back to the shore of doubt. You are that traveler. Your desires, your dreams, they wait on the other side of the chasm. The bridge is already there, but it will not reveal itself to the fearful or the forceful. It appears only to the calm, the patient, the surrendered. This crossing teaches a vital lesson. Manifestation is not about grabbing what you want. It is about aligning your being with the reality you desire. Your energy must match the frequency of your dream. When it does, the bridge becomes tangible in your experience. Doors open, people appear, opportunities flow, all synchronizing as natural extensions of your aligned state. In practical terms, this means cultivating inner stillness through meditation, reflection, or simply conscious breathing. It means releasing attachments to outcomes and focusing instead on the feeling of having what you desire. It means trusting the divine orchestration beyond your limited perspective. The invisible bridge also reveals the role of patience and timing in creation. You cannot force a flower to bloom before its season, nor can you force your desires to manifest before the alignment of circumstances and spirit. Each moment spent in resistance is a moment spent off the bridge, struggling in the turbulent waters below. Remember that crossing this bridge is a sacred partnership between your will and the universe's will. You do your part by preparing, believing, and moving in inspired action when the way is clear. The universe does its part by opening the path, shifting energies, and delivering the conditions for your manifestation. When you feel the call to act, act without desperation. When you feel the call to wait, wait without anxiety. This is the dance of the invisible bridge, fluid, graceful, and wise. The moment you surrender to this dance, you realize that the bridge was never a distant dream. It was always beneath you, waiting for you to step into your power, to trust the process, and to cross without fear. Sacred practice. Close your eyes and visualize yourself standing at the edge of a wide river. Feel the invisible bridge beneath your feet, steady and strong. With each breath, imagine stepping forward, feeling the bridge expand with your trust. Repeat silently, "I trust the invisible path. I cross with calm and confidence." Breathe this into your being, knowing the crossing is already underway. Chapter 9. The Hidden Choreography. How life arranges people, places, and moments in your favor. There is an unseen dance taking place all around you. A grand choreography so precise, so artful, it could only be the work of the divine. It is not random chance, nor the chaotic whim of fate. It is the universe's quiet, perfect design, arranging people, places, and moments in your favor. If you look closely, you will see the signs. The stranger who shows up just when you need a friend. The conversation that shifts your entire perspective. The opportunity that appears as if summoned by your deepest longing. This is not coincidence. This is choreography. Life is often mistaken for a series of disconnected events, random flashes of joy or pain, luck or misfortune. But beneath the surface, there is a meticulous dance unfolding. Every encounter, every detour, every chance meeting is like a carefully placed step in a ballet. The universe is a master choreographer, crafting your story with precision, weaving together threads you cannot yet see. This choreography is hidden because it transcends the obvious. It works in the subtle realm where spirit and matter meet. It speaks in synchronicities, in the mysterious timing of arrivals and departures. It moves in the shifting tides of connection and separation, always guiding you toward what you need, even if it's not what you want. The story of two travelers on a crowded train illustrates this beautifully. Both were strangers to each other, both unaware of the other's struggles. But as the train rumbled forward, a chance conversation began, revealing that one held a key to a problem the other could not solve alone. What seemed like a simple meeting was actually a divine arrangement, orchestrated long before either had stepped onto that train. Their lives were woven together in that moment, not by accident, but by the universe's hidden choreography. This dance extends to the places you find yourself in, the moments you live through, the street you turn down, the event you attend, the book you pick up. Each is part of a greater pattern. Often these moments seem small, insignificant, even frustrating, yet they are the steps you must take to reach the stage of your unfolding destiny. You may ask, how does this choreography work? How can life align so perfectly despite apparent chaos? The answer lies in the magnetic power of your being. You are a living signal, emitting frequencies shaped by your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. These vibrations attract the people, places, and moments that match your inner world. This is the law of attraction in motion, not as a vague wish, but as a precise cosmic law. When your energy aligns with your desires and your truth, the universe responds by arranging circumstances to reflect that harmony. It is as if invisible hands guide the flow of your life's dance, ensuring you meet the right partners in the right places at the right time. The key is surrendering to this process. Resistance is like trying to change the choreography mid-performance. It causes missteps and confusion. but surrender allows you to flow with the rhythm, trusting that every interaction is purposeful, every encounter a gift. Consider the analogy of a seed carried by the wind. It does not choose its landing spot, but when it settles on fertile ground, it takes root and flourishes. Similarly, when you allow yourself to be guided by life's choreography, you find the perfect soil for your growth. You stop fighting against the current and start moving with it. This does not mean passivity or waiting for things to happen without action. Rather, it means acting with awareness and openness, ready to recognize the dance when it appears. It means showing up fully, listening deeply, and responding with grace. Life's choreography also teaches humility. You realize that your story is part of a much larger tapestry, woven with the threads of countless others. Your success, your healing, your joy depend not only on your efforts, but on the interconnectedness of all things. This realization softens the ego's grip and opens the heart to gratitude and trust. There is a sacred story from ancient times about a weaver who crafted a magnificent tapestry. When asked how he created such beauty, he replied, "I do not work alone. The threads come from everywhere, and the pattern is revealed by the hands of many." So too, your life is a tapestry, woven by the hidden choreography of the universe. When you begin to see your life through this lens, you start noticing patterns and signs. Doors open unexpectedly. Conversations spark new ideas. Challenges lead to breakthroughs. You understand that even what feels like setbacks are part of the dance, a necessary step in the unfolding sequence. The hidden choreography invites you to trust the timing of your encounters, to believe that the people who come into your life are not random, but sent by the universe to teach, support, or guide you. To understand that sometimes letting go of a person or place is also part of the dance, making space for new arrangements. You start living in a state of flow, where you are both the dancer and the dance. Your awareness expands beyond cause and effect into the realm of cause and synchronicity. You move with confidence, knowing that life's choreography always leads you where you need to be. This understanding frees you from fear and doubt. You stop questioning why certain things happen or why people leave. Instead, you say, "Thank you," trusting that every step, every meeting, every parting is choreographed with divine precision. You begin to co-create with the universe, offering your intentions and opening your heart to receive its guidance. Your life becomes a dance of grace, a melody of alignment, a testament to the beauty of unseen design. The hidden choreography is the sacred music playing beneath your daily life. Will you listen? Will you dance? Sacred practice. Reflect on recent moments or encounters that seemed coincidental. Close your eyes and visualize them as part of a grand dance, connected by invisible threads. Breathe deeply and say, "I trust the hidden choreography guiding my path. I am open to the dance of life." Feel yourself moving with ease and grace, ready to embrace what comes next. Chapter 10. The Moment the Door Opens. Recognizing the signals of perfect timing. There is a moment, subtle yet profound, when the door you have been knocking on swings open, not with a crash or a bang, but with a gentle invitation. A moment when the universe shifts its gaze and says, "Come forward, your time has arrived." This is the moment of perfect timing. An alignment so precise it feels like the cosmos itself is guiding you through. Too often, we miss this moment. We are either looking too hard, straining our eyes for a sign that shouts, or we are distracted by the noise of doubt and fear. But the door's opening is quiet. It is a whisper, a breath, a soft illumination that lights the path just enough for the next step. This moment does not always come as a grand revelation. Sometimes it is the unexpected phone call, the chance encounter, the sudden clarity in a dream. Sometimes it is the soft nudge in your heart or the feeling of peace that washes over you amid chaos. The door's opening is a signal from the universe that you are aligned with your destiny, that the time to move has come. Recognizing this signal requires presence. You must be awake in your life, not merely existing, but observing, feeling, and sensing the subtle currents beneath the surface. This presence is a form of sacred awareness, a tuning into the frequency of your soul and the rhythms of the universe. There is a story of a traveler who searched for years for a hidden gate rumored to lead to a place of profound wisdom. He climbed mountains, crossed rivers, and ventured through dense forests, always searching for the gate's imposing entrance. One day, weary and ready to give up, he sat beneath a tree and closed his eyes. When he opened them, he noticed a small door carved into the trunk, barely visible, easily missed. He reached out, turned the handle, and stepped through into a world he had long sought. The door had been there all along, but his readiness and awareness were required to recognize it. The moment the door opens is not just about opportunity, it is about readiness. The universe waits for you to prepare, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Before granting passage, it is a partnership, a sacred dance of preparation and invitation. You do your part by cultivating clarity, by healing old wounds, by aligning your intentions with your deepest truth. The universe responds by moving circumstances into harmony with your readiness. Often, the signals of perfect timing are disguised as obstacles or delays. A missed bus, a canceled meeting, a closed door in the physical world can be the universe's way of redirecting you to a better path or a better time. These are not signs of failure, but of protection, steering you away from what is not yet right. Trust in this process allows you to remain open and patient, knowing the right door will open in its own time. Recognizing the door also means letting go of rigid expectations about how and when your desires will manifest. The door may open in ways you do not anticipate, through a stranger, a sudden insight, or a simple coincidence. If you are stuck in a narrow vision of how things should happen, you may fail to see the invitation knocking softly at your heart. The universe speaks in symbols and signs. It uses the language of synchronicity, a meaningful coincidence that feels like a wink from the divine. These signals can appear in dreams, in repeated numbers, in songs on the radio, or in sudden feelings of knowing. Your task is to cultivate sensitivity to these messages, to listen with the heart rather than the mind alone. When the door opens, you may feel a mixture of excitement and fear. This is natural. Crossing into new territory means leaving the familiar behind, stepping into the unknown. But the door's opening carries a promise. You are not alone. The universe is with you, supporting your passage with unseen hands. The story of a young woman who finally accepted a long-awaited job offer illustrates this beautifully. She had been waiting for months, facing rejection and disappointment. When the call came, she hesitated, afraid of failure and change. But she remembered the quiet whisper within, the signal that her time had come. She stepped through the door, and with every challenge faced, she grew stronger and more confident. The door had opened, not just to a job, but to a new version of herself. This moment teaches you to trust your own intuition as a compass for timing. No one else can feel the subtle currents of your life as you do. When you sense the door opening, even if it is not fully clear what lies beyond, move forward with faith, take the step, lean into the uncertainty, and watch as the path unfolds beneath your feet. The opening of the door also calls for gratitude. Recognize the journey that brought you here, the patience, the growth, the waiting. Express thanks to the universe for the timing that protects and perfects. Gratitude amplifies your alignment, inviting more doors to open in the future. In your daily life, practice this awareness by pausing to notice small signals. When an unexpected opportunity arises, stop and listen. When a sudden thought or feeling emerges, honor it. When a person or place enters your experience with meaning, welcome it. Each is a whisper from the universe, a step on the path toward your highest good. The door will open when you are ready. It will open not a moment too soon, not a moment too late. It will open with a gentleness that feels like homecoming, and when it does, you will know, because your entire being will say yes. Sacred practice. Sit quietly and bring to mind a desire or goal you hold close. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Visualize yourself standing before a door that opens just for you. Feel the moment it swings open, inviting you forward. Say softly, "I am ready to receive. I trust the perfect timing." Carry this feeling with you into your day. Chapter 11. The Energy of Readiness. Preparing your frequency for arrival. There is a sacred energy that hums beneath the surface of your being, quiet yet potent, subtle yet undeniable. It is the energy of readiness, the invisible vibration you send out into the universe that signals your preparedness to receive. Before any manifestation can appear in your life, this energy must be awakened, cultivated, and held steady. Without it, your desires remain distant dreams, floating like fragile echoes in a vast emptiness. With it, your reality begins to resonate with the frequency of your longing, drawing what you seek closer like a magnet to metal. The energy of readiness is not about frantic preparation or anxious striving. It is not a checklist of actions or a race to be first. It is a deep alignment, a state of being where your mind, heart, and soul sing in harmony, where resistance melts and flow takes over. It is the sacred soil in which the seeds of your dreams can take root and blossom. Imagine tuning a musical instrument. If the strings are loose or out of tune, no beautiful melody will emerge. But when each string is carefully adjusted, when the instrument vibrates at the right pitch, the music flows effortlessly. Your energy of readiness works the same way. You must tune your inner world, your beliefs, emotions, and intentions until they sing in perfect resonance with your desired reality. This tuning begins with awareness. Become conscious of the thoughts you entertain, the feelings you nurture, the stories you tell yourself about what is possible. Are you filled with hope, excitement, and confidence, or weighed down by doubt, fear, and hesitation? The energy you carry is a beacon that either attracts or repels the manifestations you seek. A powerful story comes from the life of a sculptor who spent years preparing a block of marble before the first chisel strike. He cleaned it, studied its curves, listened to the whispers of its potential. Only when the marble was ready, smooth, receptive, and free from cracks, did he begin to sculpt the masterpiece within. Your readiness is the marble's preparation, a sacred process of clearing and tuning that allows the form of your dreams to emerge. This preparation also involves releasing what no longer serves you. Old fears, limiting beliefs, resentments, and attachments are like heavy weights dragging you down, muffling your frequency. To raise your energy of readiness, you must let go. Forgive yourself and others. Release the need to control outcomes. Create space in your heart and mind for new possibilities. The energy of readiness is cultivated not only through mental and emotional work, but also through physical and spiritual practices. Meditation, movement, breathwork, and rituals all help you align your body and spirit with the vibration of your desires. They cleanse the energetic pathways, open the channels of intuition, and deepen your connection to the source of creation. There is an ancient teaching that the universe responds to the state you are in, not just the words you speak or the actions you take. This means that no matter how vividly you imagine or how loudly you declare your intentions, if your energy is not ready, manifestation will be delayed or distorted. Preparation of your frequency is the foundation upon which all creation rests. Consider a story from nature. The monarch butterfly does not emerge from its chrysalis before its wings are fully formed and dry. If it tried to fly too soon, it would fall and perish. The butterfly's readiness is perfect timing, matched by the internal transformation hidden within. You too must become that butterfly, patient, receptive, fully formed inside before you take flight. This energy is also a radiant magnet. When you are ready, you naturally attract people, opportunities, and circumstances that mirror your vibration. You find yourself in the right place at the right time, meeting allies and guides who support your journey. This is the invisible dance of frequency matching. The universe responds to the energy you offer. However, readiness is not a static state. It is dynamic, evolving, and alive. As you grow, your frequency shifts. Your desires may deepen or transform. Your path may reveal new facets. This means the energy of readiness is a continuous practice, an ongoing alignment with your highest self. Sometimes you may feel impatience or frustration when what you desire seems distant. In these moments, remind yourself that readiness cannot be rushed. Trust that every step you take in self-care, reflection, and alignment is a necessary part of the journey. The energy you cultivate today prepares you for the arrival of tomorrow's blessings. The sacred paradox of readiness is that while it requires preparation, it also demands surrender. You prepare your frequency, yet you release attachment to how and when manifestation will occur. You hold your vision firmly, but carry it lightly. This balance opens the door to miracles. There is a story of a gardener who planted a rare seed. He watered it daily, protected it from harsh winds, and tended to the soil. Yet, he did not pull at the seedling or force it to grow faster. He trusted the process, knowing that nature's timing was perfect. In due season, the seed blossomed into a magnificent tree, bearing fruit beyond his imagination. Your energy of readiness is like that gardener's care, a blend of intention, nurturing, and trust. As you cultivate it, you align yourself with the flow of creation. You prepare your inner landscape to welcome what is destined for you. Let this be your invitation. Tend to your energy with kindness and devotion. Release what blocks your frequency. Embrace practices that uplift your mind, body, and soul. Become the vibrational match for your dreams, so when they arrive, you are ready to receive them fully and joyfully. Chapter 12. The Gift in the Gap. Transforming, waiting into becoming. There exists a sacred space between your longing and its fulfillment. A mysterious pause, a silent breath suspended in time. This space is the gap, the in-between moment that stretches like a quiet bridge from desire to manifestation. It is often misunderstood, feared, and resisted because we mistake it for emptiness, for stagnation, for failure. But the truth whispers differently. The gap is not a void. It is a fertile, living womb of transformation, a secret garden where the alchemy of becoming takes root and blooms. In our fast-paced culture, where speed is worshipped and instant gratification is expected, the art of waiting has become lost. We scroll endlessly, searching for answers, for shortcuts, for signs that things will change now, immediately, on demand. Yet, the deepest mysteries of life reveal themselves only in the slow unfolding, the patient dawn that breaks through the longest night. The gap invites you to pause, to step into the stillness and allow the invisible work of transformation to carry you forward. Think of a seed buried in rich earth. Before it breaks through the soil and greets the sun, it rests quietly beneath the surface, hidden from sight. This rest is not nothingness. It is a sacred process of gathering strength, of shifting from one form to another. The seed does not rush or resist. It surrenders to the dark, trusting that one day it will become a towering tree or a blooming flower. So too, your waiting is the sacred work beneath your becoming, a time for deep inner growth unseen by the eyes of the world. The gap often feels uncomfortable. It can feel like loss, uncertainty, or even despair. You may feel restless, as if you are trapped between two worlds, no longer who you were, but not yet who you are becoming. This liminal space is a threshold, a doorway waiting to be crossed. And in crossing, you shed the old stories, habits, and beliefs that no longer serve you, making room for a new, truer version of yourself to emerge. There is an ancient story about a desert traveler who searched tirelessly for a rare flower that bloomed only once a year. Days turned into weeks as he wandered under the scorching sun, doubt creeping in with every step. Yet, in the quiet twilight of a long day, the flower opened, its petals unfolding like a miracle before his eyes. He realized that the waiting was not wasted time. It was the very condition that made witnessing the miracle possible. The traveler became ready through waiting. This story mirrors your own journey. The gap is not a punishment or a setback. It is a sacred invitation to become more than you were. It is a call to deepen your patience and presence, to inhabit the present moment fully instead of rushing toward an imagined future. In this moment, you align with the flow of life itself, recognizing that all growth happens in cycles, in seasons, in rhythms beyond your control. Transformation in the gap often happens in subtle ways. Shifts in perception, softening of the heart, strengthening of resilience. You may not see these changes clearly at first because they occur beneath the surface, in the quiet realms of soul and spirit. Yet, these ripples of becoming prepare you for the new reality that awaits, a reality you are not yet ready to receive until you have evolved to hold it. The gap is like the ocean tide, retreating before it surges forward. What looks like absence, empty shorelines, withdrawing waters, is actually preparation, gathering strength for the return wave. Your waiting is the tide's pull, drawing back to prepare you for the powerful flow ahead. Understanding this rhythm transforms fear into faith, impatience into trust. Fear often arises in the gap because it feels like loss or failure. You may wonder, why am I stuck? Why is this taking so long? Am I missing my chance? These questions are natural, but do not reflect the deeper truth. The universe is not holding back. It is orchestrating perfect timing and preparing you in ways unseen. Your task is to surrender the need to control and to embrace the mystery of the unfolding process. There is a beautiful parable of a potter shaping a vase on a spinning wheel. The vase must rest between the shaping and the firing to find its perfect form and strength. If the potter rushed this process, the vase would crack or deform. Your waiting is that sacred pause, the shaping, resting, and strengthening before your dreams solidify and take form in the world. This space also asks you to release old burdens, resentments, limiting beliefs, fears, and attachments that weigh down your energy and cloud your vision. As you lighten your inner load, you raise your frequency, becoming more receptive to the blessings coming your way. Waiting becomes a time of clearing, cleansing, and opening. In the gap, you cultivate trust, not only trust in the outcomes, but trust in yourself and the divine rhythm of life. You learn to listen deeply to the subtle signals your intuition sends, to honor the inner voice that knows the way even when the mind doubts. This trust is an act of faith, a surrender to the unseen forces working in your favor. The art of becoming in the gap is a daily practice. It calls you to show up fully in the present moment, to find joy and meaning in the now, instead of postponing happiness for the future. When you do this, you discover that the present moment contains all the seeds of your future, that each breath you take is a step toward your becoming. There is an old saying, "What you wait for is waiting for you." This captures the sacred reciprocity of the gap. Your dreams are not distant goals, but reflections of a potential already alive within you, waiting for the right moment to emerge. The universe responds to your readiness, not just your desire. The gap is the space where readiness is born. Embracing the gift in the gap also softens your relationship with time. You stop measuring progress by visible milestones and begin to appreciate the unseen inner work. You understand that timing is a sacred art, choreographed by the cosmos with perfect precision beyond human understanding. The gap is a portal to transformation, a liminal space where you become the alchemist of your own life. By learning to live fully in this sacred pause, you shift from impatience to presence, from frustration to gratitude. You step into a higher frequency, one that magnetizes miracles and invites profound growth. Your soul knows this truth even when your mind forgets. The gift in the gap is your secret treasure, waiting for you to unlock it through patience, trust, and conscious becoming. This gift turns waiting into the most powerful part of your journey, the crucible where your desires are forged into reality. Sacred practice. Find a quiet space and sit comfortably. Close your eyes and breathe deeply into the present moment. Visualize the gap as a fertile garden within you, rich with seeds of transformation and potential. Breathe into the stillness and whisper gently, "I honor this sacred waiting. I am becoming more than I was before." Allow this truth to settle in your heart, anchoring patience and trust in your soul. Chapter 13. The Sudden Unfolding. Why everything can change in an instant. Life is a river that flows not only in steady currents, but also in unexpected surges, moments when everything shifts in the blink of an eye. These are the moments of sudden unfolding, when the invisible threads of your reality realign, when the universe reveals the exquisite dance of grace and timing. They remind us that, despite the slow rhythms of patience and waiting, transformation can be instantaneous, miraculous, and beyond all calculation. The sudden unfolding is like the crack of dawn after the longest night, when darkness breaks open and light floods the sky with breathtaking brilliance. It is the instant when a door you have knocked on for years swings wide without warning. It is the spark that ignites a flame in the depths of your being, illuminating paths previously unseen. This phenomenon often arrives when least expected, sometimes when the mind is tired, the heart is heavy, or hope seems dim. Yet the universe, in its infinite wisdom, moves precisely in these moments, breaking through barriers, dissolving limitations, and rewriting stories in a single breath. To understand the sudden unfolding, imagine the butterfly's metamorphosis, not the slow, quiet transformation inside the chrysalis, but the exact instant the fragile wings unfold and catch the air for the first time. This is the moment of birth, the leap into a new existence. Your own life holds such moments, precise, powerful instants where change bursts forth after seasons of unseen preparation. These moments often feel miraculous because they defy ordinary expectations. You may have believed that change would require years of effort or endless striving, only to discover that the shift happened in an instant without warning. This truth challenges our conditioned belief in control, reminding us that the universe operates through laws far beyond human logic. There is a story of a woman who spent decades working toward a dream, a calling that felt distant and unattainable. She had faced rejection, failure, and doubt, yet she never gave up hope. Then one day, unexpectedly, an opportunity appeared. An invitation, a meeting, a sign that changed everything in a single moment. Her life pivoted on that instant, a sudden unfolding that revealed the fullness of her journey. Such moments are not accidents or random luck, they are the culmination of inner work, faith, and alignment. The universe waits for you to prepare, not just in action, but in your energy, your beliefs, and your readiness to receive. When all is aligned, the sudden unfolding becomes possible. The paradox of sudden unfolding is that it arises from stillness as much as movement. It is born in the silent depths of your being, in the invisible spaces where transformation germinates unseen. This means that the moments before the shift may feel quiet, empty, or even stagnant, yet they are fertile grounds where miracles incubate. Sometimes you may feel as though you are stuck in a long pause, longing for change but unable to see progress. In these times, trust that the sudden unfolding is gathering strength beneath the surface, preparing to burst forth when the moment is right. Your role is to stay present, hold your vision, and remain open to the unexpected. The sudden unfolding is also a call to release attachment to how and when your life should change. If you cling too tightly to plans, timetables, or outcomes, you may block the flow of divine timing. Instead, cultivate openness to surprise, to the possibility that transformation will come in forms you cannot predict or control. There is a beautiful metaphor of the lightning strike. Lightning is sudden, brilliant, and powerful, illuminating the sky in an instant before fading. Yet lightning is also the release of built-up energy, the discharge of forces held in tension. Your own moments of sudden unfolding are like lightning, brief but transformative flashes that break through old patterns and light the way forward. The universe speaks in these flashes, reminding you that change is never as slow or as fixed as it seems. A single decision, a shift in perspective, or a moment of surrender can cascade into profound transformation. Sudden unfolding invites you to be ready, to recognize the flash when it comes, and to leap boldly into the new. This requires courage, for sudden change can feel disorienting and overwhelming. The old ways may fall away before you are fully prepared for what comes next. But courage is the companion of faith, the trust that you will be supported, that you will grow into what is required, and that the universe is conspiring on your behalf. Consider the story of a man who lost his job unexpectedly. At first, despair gripped him tightly. The future seemed uncertain and frightening. Yet in that sudden upheaval, he discovered a new calling, a path he had never imagined, but one that brought joy and purpose beyond his former life. The door closed sharply, but another opened in the same moment. Sudden unfolding reveals the sacred impermanence of all things. It shows you that nothing is fixed, that reality is fluid and ever-changing, and that within the great flux lies opportunity. When you learn to embrace this truth, you release fear and step into the flow of life with grace and agility. You begin to see that every pause, every delay, every moment of preparation is a prelude to the sudden unfolding. You learn to honor the slow buildup and to remain awake to the instant when the tide turns. This awareness becomes a sacred skill, the ability to navigate life's rhythms with wisdom and openness. As you cultivate this awareness, practice tuning your senses to subtle shifts, signs, feelings, synchronicities that herald the coming change. Be attentive to dreams, intuitive nudges, and moments of clarity that illuminate your path. These are the soft preludes to the lightning strike, the gentle drum roll before the crescendo. The sudden unfolding is also an invitation to release resistance. Resisting change only prolongs discomfort and blocks the flow of grace. When you surrender to the moment, even if it is uncertain or frightening, you allow transformation to flow through you rather than against you. There is a profound peace that arises when you trust the sudden unfolding. You come to know that life's greatest changes often happen when you are not pushing or forcing, but when you are ready, when your inner and outer worlds align perfectly. You become a co-creator with the universe, dancing to its mysterious rhythms. The sudden unfolding is not a one-time event, but a continual dance. Life is full of these moments, small and large, each an opportunity to rise, to evolve, to step into new possibilities. By embracing this dance, you awaken to the miracle of existence itself. Sacred practice. Sit quietly and breathe deeply. Reflect on a moment in your life when everything changed suddenly, how it felt, what it taught you. Now, bring to mind a desire or change you are waiting for. Visualize a flash of light, like lightning, igniting that desire into reality. Whisper silently, "I am ready for sudden unfolding. I trust the perfect timing of my transformation." Feel yourself open to the miraculous now. Chapter 14. The Eternal Now. How divine timing erases the illusion of delay. Time, as we know it, is a river flowing ceaselessly from past to future, dragging us along in a current that feels relentless and unforgiving. We measure our lives by clocks and calendars, by deadlines and appointments, by the tick of seconds that urge us ever forward. Yet beneath this familiar march lies a profound truth, the eternal now, a timeless realm where past and future dissolve and only presence remains. It is here, in the eternal now, that divine timing reveals its true face, erasing the illusion of delay and inviting you into a sacred dance with life itself. The illusion of delay arises because we live largely through the lens of expectation, expecting things to happen when and how we decide they should. We count the days, tally the hours, and grow restless when our desires do not materialize on our schedule. But this restlessness is the ego's cry for control, the mind's attempt to impose order on the vast mystery of unfolding. Divine timing, however, flows beyond our grasp, orchestrating events with precision that transcends human understanding. Imagine standing beside a great symphony orchestra before the music begins. The silence is thick, charged with anticipation. Each musician waits, not rushing, not impatient, but attuned to the conductor's subtle gesture, the cue that will set the entire ensemble into harmonious motion. Divine timing is that conductor's baton, invisible yet commanding, guiding each note to emerge at exactly the right moment for perfect resonance. The eternal now is the stage upon which this sacred timing unfolds. When you are fully present, you enter this timeless space where waiting loses its weight and delay its sting. You no longer live for the moment of manifestation, but in the moment itself. This presence is the key that unlocks peace amid uncertainty and joy amid the unknown. There is a story of a monk who sat beside a river meditating on patience and presence. He watched the water flow endlessly, observing how each droplet arrived perfectly on time, neither rushing nor lingering. One day, a traveler came seeking answers to his questions about timing and fate. The monk smiled gently and said, "The river does not hurry, yet it reaches the sea. So too must you learn to trust the flow and live fully in the now." This simple teaching captures the essence of divine timing and eternal presence. When you align with the eternal now, you begin to see that what feels like delay is often a sacred preparation, a weaving together of circumstances, energies, and lessons that must converge before the next step can appear. You realize that your desires are not postponed, but cultivated in invisible realms, nurtured by forces beyond sight. The illusion of delay also dissolves when you understand that time is not linear, but cyclical, layered, and multidimensional. The past and future exist within the present moment as potentials and memories, swirling in an eternal dance. This awareness opens you to the possibility that what you seek is already complete in the timeless now, waiting only for your perception to catch up. Consider the metaphor of a seed and a tree. The seed's growth is invisible to the eye at first, yet beneath the soil, roots reach deeper, the core strengthens, and life pulses steadily forward. To the impatient observer, the seed may appear dormant, but in truth, it is alive and growing, perfectly timed for its blossoming. Your life's unfolding is no different. What seems like delay is the silent work of becoming. Divine timing also teaches surrender. You learn to release the tight grip of control and open your heart to the mystery of life's rhythms. This surrender does not mean passivity. It means active participation with acceptance, a willing dance partner moving in sync with the universe's pulse. There is a tale of a great artist who waited years for inspiration to strike. Rather than forcing the process, she embraced the waiting as part of her creative journey, finding beauty in the pauses between brush strokes. When the moment came, the masterpiece flowed effortlessly. Her patience was not wasted. It was the very soil in which genius took root. When you live in the eternal now, your energy shifts from tension to flow. You become a magnet for synchronicities and opportunities that align perfectly with your highest good. You feel guided by an unseen hand, a sacred intelligence that leads you through the labyrinth of life with gentle assurance. The eternal now also dissolves fear, the fear that you have waited too long, that you have missed your chance, or that life is somehow unfair. These fears belong to the illusion of time's scarcity. In truth, there is always more than enough, more time, more grace, more unfolding, because time itself is an endless ocean, and you are eternally afloat upon its waves. You come to understand that every moment contains the fullness of life, every breath carries creation, and every pause is pregnant with possibility. This realization fills you with profound peace and deep trust, allowing you to relax into the journey rather than struggle against it. To enter the eternal now is to awaken to your true nature beyond the confines of time and space. You recognize yourself as both the observer and the flow, the seed and the tree, the question and the answer. This awakening changes how you relate to delay, transforming it from frustration into sacred opportunity. The eternal now invites you to practice presence in your daily life, to engage fully with each moment, no matter how small or ordinary. As you do, you align more deeply with divine timing and become a co-creator of your reality. You learn that waiting is not wasted time, but a vital part of the sacred dance. Sacred practice. Find a quiet moment and close your eyes. Breathe deeply into the present moment. Feel the eternal now expanding around you, dissolving past and future into this single breath. Silently affirm, I am present. I trust the perfect timing of my life. I release all illusions of delay. Let this presence fill your being with peace and readiness. Chapter 15. The Dance You Were Born For. Living in harmony with the law of divine timing. There is a rhythm woven deep into the fabric of the cosmos, a sacred dance that moves through every star, every wave, every heartbeat. This dance is the pulse of divine timing, the invisible choreography that orchestrates your life with perfect precision and grace. You were born not just to live, but to dance, to move fluidly with the universe's rhythm, to step in time with its sacred beat, to become a living expression of its eternal flow. To live in harmony with divine timing is to awaken from the illusion of force and friction, to release the futile struggle against the current. It is to understand that life does not demand you to wrestle with its tides, but invites you to surrender, to flow, and to respond with grace. This dance is not a hurried rush, but a slow, deliberate movement that honors the sacred pause as much as the surge forward. Imagine a dancer in a grand hall, moving effortlessly across the floor. Each step is guided by music that arises spontaneously, unpredictable, yet perfectly attuned. The dancer listens deeply, feeling every note and every silence, moving with fluidity and presence. This is the essence of divine timing, being so present and so attuned that you respond naturally to life's music, neither ahead nor behind. Many spend their lives fighting time, rushing, pushing, forcing outcomes to fit their schedules and expectations. This resistance creates tension and exhaustion, disconnecting you from the natural flow of the universe. But the law of divine timing invites you to cultivate patience, presence, and trust, to step back from frantic effort and allow life to unfold through you. The dance you were born for is one of alignment. It asks you to listen to your inner rhythm, to cultivate a deep connection to your intuition, and to honor the cycles of your own body, mind, and spirit. When you dance in alignment, your actions carry a quality of effortless power, and your manifestations arrive with ease and grace. There is a story of a young musician who struggled to master her instrument. She practiced tirelessly, pushing herself hard, but progress felt slow and frustrating. One day, a wise teacher told her, "You are trying to control the music instead of feeling it. Close your eyes, breathe, and listen to the silence between the notes." When she did, her playing transformed. The music flowed through her like a river, spontaneous and alive. Her dance with the music became a living conversation, a perfect expression of divine timing. This metaphor applies not only to music, but to every aspect of your life. When you learn to listen deeply to the silence, to the stillness, to the subtle currents beneath the surface, you enter the flow of divine timing. You begin to discern when to act and when to wait, when to push and when to yield. The dance requires courage. There will be times when you feel called to step boldly into the light, to take risks and embrace the unknown. And there will be times when stillness is your greatest strength, when the dance asks you to pause, to reflect, to gather your energy. Both movement and stillness are sacred partners in this eternal rhythm. The law of divine timing also teaches you to release attachment to specific outcomes or timetables. When you cling too tightly to how and when things should happen, you close yourself off from the magic of surprise and synchronicity. True harmony arises when you open your heart to possibility, trusting that the universe's timing is always perfect, even when it defies your logic or desires. There is a story of a gardener who planted seeds in spring, tending them carefully but without forcing growth. Some seeds sprouted quickly, others took their time, and a few seemed dormant for a season. The gardener understood that each plant had its own rhythm, its own timing to emerge. In autumn, the garden blossomed with unexpected abundance and beauty, a testament to patient, loving care and respect for natural cycles. Living the dance of divine timing is to become like this gardener, patient, attentive, and loving toward your own growth and the unfolding of your life. It means honoring your own cycles of energy, inspiration, and rest, and trusting that each phase serves a vital purpose. As you move in harmony with divine timing, you also cultivate gratitude. Gratitude for the moments of waiting that teach you patience, for the challenges that build your strength, for the blessings that arrive often disguised as delays. Gratitude opens your heart and aligns your frequency with the flow of grace. The dance is not always easy. There will be moments of doubt, fear, and frustration when you question the pace of your life. But these moments are part of the rhythm too, like the pauses between musical notes that give meaning and depth to the melody. When you embrace the full dance, including its silences and shadows, you step fully into your power and purpose. The dance you were born for is a sacred conversation with the universe. It is the co-creation of your reality in partnership with divine intelligence. You are both the dancer and the music, the creator and the creation, the question and the answer. This dance invites you to cultivate mindfulness in every step, to bring awareness to your thoughts, feelings, and actions. Through this presence, you align with the subtle currents of divine timing and become a magnet for miracles and synchronicities. You learn to trust that the universe is always moving in your favor, even when the path seems unclear. The final truth of this dance is liberation. The freedom from the illusion of control, from the fear of waiting, and from the struggle to force outcomes. When you surrender to divine timing, you find peace in the present moment and joy in the unfolding journey. You were born for this dance, to move with the rhythms of life, to trust the sacred timing of your soul, and to celebrate the mystery and magic of your becoming. Every breath you take, every step you make, is part of this eternal choreography, a unique expression of divine harmony. As you awaken to this dance, may you move with grace, courage, and deep trust. May you find joy in every pause and power in every movement. And may you remember always that you are held, guided, and loved by the great conductor of life's eternal symphony. Sacred practice. Stand or sit quietly and take a few deep breaths. Imagine yourself as a dancer moving gracefully in a vast, beautiful space. Feel the rhythm of your breath as the music guiding your steps. With each inhale, invite trust and presence. With each exhale, release control and fear. Whisper silently, I dance with divine timing. I flow with life's sacred rhythm. Allow this dance to fill your body and soul. Conclusion. As we come to the close of this journey through the sacred art of divine timing, remember this. Life is not a race to be won, nor a puzzle to be solved by force. It is a dance, a magnificent, intricate dance choreographed by the unseen hands of the universe. Every pause, every delay, every silent moment holds a purpose far greater than what the mind can comprehend. In embracing stillness, patience, and trust, you step into the flow of life's eternal rhythm, becoming a co-creator of miracles. The law of divine timing invites you to surrender control, to release resistance, and to open your heart wide to the mystery of unfolding. It teaches that waiting is not a void, but a vibrant space where transformation germinates. The moments that feel like setbacks are often the very soil from which your greatest breakthroughs will grow. When readiness meets reality, when patience meets opportunity, the universe moves with breathtaking precision, revealing that all along you were exactly where you needed to be. Carry this truth with you like a sacred flame. Let it light your path through uncertainty, soften your fears, and deepen your faith. Know that you are held in a cosmic embrace where every moment is perfectly timed, every experience is divinely orchestrated, and every step is blessed. Your journey is unique, beautiful, and unfolding exactly as it should. Now, with this wisdom awakened within you, step forward with courage and grace. Trust the dance you were born for, flow with the rhythms of divine timing, and watch as your life blossoms in harmony with the universe's grand design. If this message resonated with you, I invite you to share it with others seeking peace and empowerment. Subscribe for more transformative teachings and step into the sacred flow of your own becoming. The universe is waiting to unfold its magic through you.